Quick little message before this video starts. So for the past almost 2 years now, I've been working on this very long video about dumb ways to die. And while working on it, I was going to include this video you're watching right now, as a little part in that video. But recently, I kind of realized I couldn't really find a spot where it fit in super well, and it kind of just bloated the video length to be an extra hour, which I felt was kind of unneeded. So I've decided to have it uploaded here on my main YouTube channel as kind of a early/bonus video to the Dumb Ways to Die video. For anyone wondering, I'm still working on the Dumb Ways to Die video. It's just taking some time. But in the meantime, I hope you all enjoy this video where I look at some awful Dumb Ways to Die ripoffs. Dumb Ways to Die is one of the most well-remembered and loved iconic mobile games. And fun fact, Dumb Ways to Die is heavily inspired by Wario Ware. But what happens when game developers see this inspiration and they take it a bit too far? Well, I'm gonna find out, because today I'm gonna look at some awful Dumb Ways to Die ripoffs. Let's begin. The first games I'm gonna be talking about are from Series of Dumb Deaths. Alright, so the first series of Dumb Deaths. It is now a lost mobile game. It's now delisted and I don't think you can get it anymore, but there is still archived footage of it from Lanidos. And when you start, the menu takes place at a bus stop very similar to Dumb Ways to Die, and there's a young fellow with a bag on his head. Also, to unlock the first character, or I guess second character, you need 2,700 points, which is actually quite a lot in my opinion. The first minigame has you in a boat paddling away from a shark. You have to tap fast, obviously similar to the Dumb Ways to Die 2 minigame, where you have to swim. Second minigame has you dragging planks onto a bridge. Third is the most blatantly obvious so far, with this young man using hairspray and almost suffocating himself in it due to the amount of chemicals. He also looks suspiciously similar to a Dumb Ways to Die character. Like, the other characters look like Dumb Ways to Die characters, but this one you can really tell. There's obviously parallels to the throw up minigame from Dumb Ways to Die 1. There's one where you have to match the icons to the animals, and if you lose, this donut guy gets eaten by a bear. And I actually do like this design quite a lot. I think that this donut guy is probably the best design character, I'm not gonna lie. Most of the other characters look like garbage, but this one, it's kind of cool looking. There's a couple other mini games, such as one which is just whack-a-mole. There's a mini game with a guy falling off a building and you need to guide a car to catch him. There's one where you gotta stop a train for it to not hit a cow. And lastly, there's one where you have to shoot targets. And it's kinda cool, has a western theme to it. That's about it. Honestly, the game isn't terrible. Yeah, it's a blatant ripoff of Dumb Ways to Die, but it has a strange charm to it. I personally love ripoffs because they are so interesting to me. This game honestly has kind of a cool art style to it, despite just copying Dumb Ways to Die. This seems like a game that I would play on my old ass Kindle Fire and play it once then never again. Then years later I'd remember it and have nostalgia for it. However, this is not the final game in the Series of Dumb Deaths. Let's talk about Series of Dumb Deaths 2. This game is a lot of the same. The menu has you at yet another train station. Let's look at the mini games. One of the first mini games was just copied from the first game where you have to clear smoke. There was one where you had to keep tapping the green button to keep this bomb from exploding. One where you had to close windows to keep a psycho killer out. Seems a little bit familiar. And also seems familiar to that mini game from Dumb Ways to Die 2 where you have to keep snow out of your house. There's also a mini game where you have to turn off a stove so it doesn't explode your house, and I failed this one. But after, I got my first character, this little swimming guy, which is kind of cool. Then there's quite possibly one of the hardest mini games. You have to trace this pirate map to get to treasure, and it's obviously like the mustard mini game from Dumb Ways to Die 1. But the difference is that one worked because it was so simple. It was just an easy squiggly pattern, and you didn't have to be super precise with it. But this one, you have to be pretty precise with such a short time limit. I only won it once out of the multiple times I played it. And also that little pirate guy is also the guy for the lives counter. When you fail, you lose one of them. And, just like Dumb Ways to Die 1 and 2 and... yeah. And then there's a minigame that's an obvious copy of the washing machine minigame from Dumb Ways to Die 1. But this one is so weird because of how it's worded. It says, trapped, draw around the purple part. So you literally have to draw the purple part in particular, which makes this needlessly more difficult than it has to be. Again, I only won this once. There's also this minigame based on the Freezerville skating minigame from Dumb Ways to Die 2, but this one is so confusing. In the original, you have to tap to jump over the holes in the ice, but this one you need to drag the ice away, which makes zero sense. You're literally defying the laws of Earth, I guess, so you could drag these holes away. It doesn't make any sense. Like, just put a different skin on it if you want. Like, how about moving like snakes away, or moving something else away? Why holes in the ice? You have to move the holes in the ice. That's so weird. There's also a fishing minigame. That's a clear copy of the piranha minigame from Dumb Ways to Die 1. You have to tap jellyfish to scare them away. Another minigame, you need to pick an apple from a selection of junk food. Honestly, not bad, quite original and cool, to be honest. However, I cannot say the same for this next minigame. It's simple on paper. Tap rapidly to not drown. But no matter how hard I tried and how fast I went, it never worked. I genuinely believe this one's impossible. And trust me, this isn't the last of these types of minigames where you have to tap super fast and they don't work. There's actually a pretty cool space minigame though, where you have to tilt to avoid asteroids. The physics are kinda wonky and not that good, but it's not that bad. It's obviously based off of the Spaceman guy from Dumb Ways to Die 1. Also, I got a couple more characters, a pink girl with a bow on her head, and a cow. My mission was to get 3 characters for each of these games, so I'm happy that I got all of these ones in this game. Overall, I think this game is definitely better than the first. Obviously not a great game and laughably bad compared to the actual Dumb Ways to Die games, but it's still improved on the first. Some better animation and character design, and some unique minigames. But sadly no Mr. Donut Guy, which is very sad. Let's see what Series of Dumb Deaths 3 has in store for us now. This third game opens up with a menu that has you at yet another train station, with a beautiful view of nature behind it. A big mountain with snow, trees with stunning blue leaves, and a little bit of grass underneath it too. Also, apparently I had played this one before since I had 2 characters unlocked already, but I pressed the reset button to start a fresh new save. Now let's look at the minigames. First one, fittingly enough, was space themed. You have to swipe asteroids away from the space guy. I say fittingly because the background used in the loading screen is the space background, I guess. And also, I kept dying on this one. This one's like basically impossible. And when you die, he literally turns into like a pancake. The second one, you had to swipe these guys to avoid a train. Obviously like a Dumb Ways to Die minigame from the first one. And the third one is awful again. The most seemingly simple ones, you have to tap left and right to fight this bear. But it's literally impossible. I tried so many times and it doesn't work. And you're starting to see a pattern now. The ones where you have to specifically tap very fast, which should be the most simple ones, just do not work at all, and I have no idea why. But the next one isn't so bad. It's actually one of the best minigames in the series. You have to shoot at a moose, and not as a guy dressed up as a moose. Yeah, it's obviously character stealing, but it's quite unique for a minigame, and it actually has some challenge to it being fair. They like switch around the bushes and stuff, and they are the same color, so it's a little bit difficult to shoot the moose and not the moose guy. So it's kind of a cool minigame, I guess. Also, I like the moose guy quite a bit, so I think I have some bias. Then there's a minigame where you swipe away crabs, and yeah, it's just the same as the Dumb Ways to Die 1 Piranha minigame. And also, it's basically a reskin of the minigame from Series of Dumb Deaths 2. Seems like they just love that fishing minigame, or piranha minigame, or they love fishing. Whoever made this is a fisherman, probably. Then another one, which is impossible. You have to tap rapidly when the line reaches the red area, but again, it never works, thus making it basically impossible. Like, I don't know why the tapping ones are so difficult, but they just are. However, this car minigame is quite good. You have to tap on the numbers in order, very similar to the skiing minigame from Dumb Ways to Die 2, but the numbers actually change order each time you played this minigame, thus adding challenge to it, while also making it quite clear and simple to understand. So, good work on that one, I guess. And again, another impossible minigame where you have to tap rapidly to avoid a bull. It's fully impossible, again. And trust me, I really tried. I tapped until my fingers hurt, yet nothing. It was impossible. That is 3 impossible minigames in this one entry of the series. Basically meaning that if you get getting enough points for the characters is basically just RNG. So if you were on a good run and then you get any of these minigames at all in a row or whatever, then you instantly lose. And I don't even know if an auto clicker works or not, but I kinda doubt it. And I actually did get enough points for one character, and it's the moose guy, which is quite epic. There's also a couple other minigames like spraying flies away and picking a present, either being a puppy or a literal stick of dynamite. Or this minigame that has you tracing a path to avoid an avalanche, stolen from the official Dumb Ways to Die, obviously. But with the impossible minigames, it still comes down to RNG if you get enough points to get a new character. And I ended off with 2 new ones, a cowboy guy and a Christmas guy. And I gotta say, this is the worst in the series of Dumb Deaths, at least the numbered games. And there's still 4 more to go. So there's still room left for improvement, so hopefully the 4th game is better. Series of Dumb Deaths 4. Yippee! Game opens up at another train station, what a surprise. But I do have a hot dog guy unlocked for some reason, not sure why. First minigame has a lemon man jumping on logs, similar to the monkey minigame in Dumb Ways to Die 2. And the next minigame is another impossible tapping one. But I hate this one the most because the character is so freaking ugly. Look at this thing. What is this supposed to be? It's ugly as hell. Next one, you need to swipe food off this sheep, very similar to the Yeti minigame in Dumb Ways to Die. Then this dude just emerges from the sheep's fur, and they both get heart eyes. A little bit weird, to be honest. I don't know what the developer was thinking with this one. Then shockingly enough, there's actually a good minigame, even great, even maybe the best in this series. It's quite simple. You need to assemble a burger from memory. Each time it's a different selection of ingredients in a different order, and it's genuinely quite challenging and fun. I actually enjoyed this minigame when it showed up, even if I did lose, because there was actually some thought and effort put into it. Yeah, the rest of the minigames kind of suck though. Such as this next minigame, which is the 1 billionth fishing minigame. I'm not even going to go over it. Then there's a Christmas minigame, which kind of sucks. And then there's a minigame where you pick worms out of the dirt for a vulture. Not too crazy, but oh my god. The donut guy is back. Holy shit, return of the century. 10 out of 10 game. Donut guy is in this game. This is the best game in the series. And the first one too, because it has donut guy in it. How epic. Next minigame is not nearly as good. You need to ski and avoid obstacles. And when you beat it, it straight up changes like an entire color. Just look at this weird transition. It just looks really weird to me. I don't know why. Then there's a minigame where you need to avoid lava as this bread guy. And this seems really familiar to a minigame from New Super Mario Bros. DS. I don't know if it was directly inspired by that, but with the track record of this game copying from Dumb Ways to Die, I wouldn't be very shocked if this was copied from a Mario minigame either. And I only got one character, the fishing guy. How ironic, considering I hate the fishing minigames. Overall, this game is just another awful addition to the series of Dumb Deaths. But the donut guy's comeback was kind of amazing, I won't lie. But yeah, it was kind of a disappointing end to the series. Well, I would say that if there wasn't 2 spin-offs. Yeah. This is an Easter one. Yeah, I don't know why. This one opens on an actual quite nice looking house with a lot of colors, which is quite neat. First minigame, you need to tap on hens to keep them in their nests. Not really sure why. But the sound effect when you tap them sounds like you're punching them. Definitely kinda weird. Next one, you need to swipe to empty a candy basket to a bag. The next one, you need to trace these toes to avoid a wolf. I don't know why they chose a wolf, I guess because Easter, but wolves aren't part of Easter, I don't know. And then the next one, you need to find an egg hidden in the dark. That just doesn't make any sense. And then the next minigame, you need to spell Easter. Okay, not bad. But when you fail, you get sliced into pieces by this weird creature. I understand that there's deaths that are in the game, but what does this like monster have to do with Easter? This doesn't make any sense at all. The next, you need to turn off all the lights in a house so ghosts and bunnies don't enter. The next minigame, you need to scrub a bunny's teeth, obviously like the minigame from Dumb Ways to Die 2. Then the next minigame, you tap on eggs and a wizard makes a basket of Easter goodies in front of you. I don't know why I wrote it like that. These are just making less sense as you go on though. These are just weird. There's another memory minigame like the last one, but it's just worse. Then I unlocked a character after I lose. Cool. There's a minigame that has a bunny on a broomstick flying like a witch. These minigames honestly just feel like Halloween themed ones more than Easter ones. This is so bizarre. And I stopped there because I got really bored. And I got a couple more characters after playing, and I played basically all the minigames. This one was super weird. Almost all the minigames were Halloween themed and not Easter. Well, since whoever made this knows a lot about Halloween so well, I'm kind of excited for the next game, which is a Halloween one. Let's see how it is. Alright, the Halloween game. I'm real excited about this one. Alright, booting up the game has a spooky house with spooky Halloween things, kind of like the Easter house actually. First minigame has you hitting zombies to stay in graves, kind of similar to the last minigame first minigame in the last game is what I meant to say. The next has you giving candy to a trick-or-treater. The next you have to find a light switch in the dark. And after that you need to spell the word relax, and if you lose you get sliced by a creature. And this is just the Easter minigame but reskinned. What the hell? Well, not really. The Easter game was reskinned from this Halloween one. Every minigame in the Easter game was reskinned from the Halloween one. Just look at these comparisons. Every single minigame is reskinned. Which is so weird and really lazy game design, I won't lie, really bad. So basically the guy who made these games had the Halloween one all done, and when Easter came around he just reskinned all the minigames to be Easter themed, didn't change anything else. And the thing is, I played the Easter game before the Halloween one, so I guess the Halloween game isn't that bad, and then the Easter one just is the absolute worst because it's just a reskin of the Halloween one. As if this series couldn't get any worse. Well, there's basically one more left, or at least one more that's not delisted. Dumb minigame death. Alright, one more to go. I'm gonna be quick with this one. Title screen has the signature Dumb Ways to Die color as the background, and there's little bear characters with the amount of score you need to unlock them. Kinda unique, I guess. Once you do unlock them, you can actually tap on them and it shows a death animation, which is actually quite cool, I won't lie. I don't think that was with any of the other games. And I'm not going over the mini games, you can just see for yourself. I'll have footage in the background. I will say though that the gimmick of bears being each character is kinda cool, to be honest, but that could be just because I like bears. I think they're cool. And yeah, you could basically just reskin this as a without bears and it would just be another series of Dumb Deaths game. It's really just boring, kinda lame. However, there's two more delisted games. I'll be quick with them. There's one called World Tour. I don't remember a single thing from it, but there's some footage on YouTube, which is nice. And an 8-bit one. And the 8-bit one is kind of cool because it has a style to it, you know? It's 8-bit themed, it's kind of cool and unique, whereas all the other games just don't have any real theme to them, besides from the Easter and Halloween ones. So that's kind of cool, but it's delisted, so I can't play it, and yeah, I don't think I'm missing out on much not playing those games. My conclusion for Series of Dumb Deaths. It's not a very good series. It started off not too bad with a couple kinda decent games with some charm to them, but as it went on, the games just got worse and worse, especially with that Easter Halloween game. I mean, come on, that is just next level lazy, copying one of your games and reskinning it to be a different holiday one. That's so stupid, man. Yeah, this series, it made me want to die in a very dumb way. So stupid. Alright, I am finally done with Series of Dumb Deaths. That game series was so bad. Genuinely so bad. I can't believe how insanely bad some of the games were. But now I'm going to be going over the rest of the Dumb Ways to Die ripoffs, which I want to talk about, which aren't Series of Dumb Deaths. Seriously, that that took up so much time. Oh my god. Anyways, if you could think of one series to do a Dumb Ways to Die inspired game or ripoff, what would you expect the series to be? Because I bet you wouldn't expect Spongebob to have a Dumb Ways to Die game. Well, inspired game. This game's definitely more inspired than Dumb Ways to Die instead of a ripoff, but I still want to talk about it because I don't know when I would ever talk about it other than now, I guess, besides from a SpongeBob mobile game video, which I'll probably do sometime. This game is called SpongeBob's Game Frenzy. It's Dumb Ways to Die, but with SpongeBob. Basically, the main kind of character thing is there's some fortune teller guy. The mini games are shown with these cards, and it shows the instructions on how to play them too. And the more that you play the mini games and the higher score you get, the more mini games and I guess like cards you collect. So it's kind of like a collecting game as well, kind of like Dumb Ways to Die, but you unlock more mini games after you get more points, which was actually incorporated into Dumb Ways to Die later on. I don't think it's inspired by this, but still. And the mini games are of course SpongeBob related, like catching jellyfish, waking up Squidward, making Krabby Patties, blowing bubbles, etc. But the thing that I really like is that each minigame is based on a scene from a specific episode, like waking Squidward from that one season 1 episode, the SpongeBob Goes Prehistoric minigame with SpongeGar in it, the Patrick falling one that's based on No Hat for Pat, even the damn Viking episode that nobody remembers besides from me, because I had it on a DVD when I was little. Also, one thing which is so funny is that whenever you lose these minigames, it's not really like SpongeBob dies or whatever, but it's more of just showing what the bad outcome is, like making Krabby Patties and he makes like a really nasty Krabby Patty, the nasty patty, or the one with Patrick where he just falls over. And of course there's like different win screens and whatever too, but seriously, some of these failing screens are so damn funny for no reason. Like what are some of these? Also, one thing that I find really interesting is the animation in this game. SpongeBob has a very recognizable animation style, whether you're watching like early episodes, mid-season episodes, or episodes from like the modern era. SpongeBob's gone through a lot of design changes and animation changes, but it still kind of had that consistent look to it. And this game, it kind of keeps it. It keeps like the classic SpongeBob look, I guess, but kind of also mixes it with the other animation styles from other seasons. This was made in like I think 2015, so around right before modern SpongeBob became the norm, with like the new intro and more brighter and I don't know, brighter colors. So it's kind of interesting. But one thing that is cool is that the animation style, like the one where you wake Squidward, it kind of looks more like older SpongeBob. And same with like some of the newer mini games look more like the episodes they were based on, which were from newer seasons. And by newer seasons, I mean ones from like 2008. But I don't know, it's kind of interesting that they have kind of different looking animation styles for scenes and mini games based on older episodes and based on more new ones. And also the animation it looks off. Like if you've watched SpongeBob, you know what the animation looks like. And this game, it's not bad looking, but you can tell it looked kind of strange and choppy, almost like an old Flash animation or something. So this is definitely a part which could have been maybe fixed up upon, but I mean, hey, it's just a mobile game, so it's not a big deal. And also, you can't even play this game anymore. I actually tried to search for like an APK of it, but I couldn't find any at all. And the thing is, this app was taken off the App Store like probably a while ago, which kind of sucks, so that's why I'm using Lanido's footage. But I don't know, it's kind of weird that this was taken off the App Store, because there's only like a small amount of SpongeBob games on the App Store now. And I played a lot of SpongeBob mobile games when I was little, and like literally like all of them are gone now, which is crazy. Which is why I want to make a SpongeBob mobile game video, because there's so many which are kind of lost. 20 lost mobile games. Ones that are like lost or just not playable anymore, or just like not on the App Store. It's really, really strange. But I don't know, overall this game's not bad. It's not like the best Dumb Ways to Die ripoff. Actually no, this is actually probably the best Dumb Ways to Die ripoff throughout this whole ripoff section, I'm gonna be fully honest. Or at least one of the very much better ones. And especially, it's like a 180 compared to Series of Dumb Deaths. Like holy guacamole. It's a lot better. Alright, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, something that actually makes like 100% sense to have a Dumb Ways to Die ripoff is Happy Tree Friends. If you don't know, Happy Tree Friends is a show designed to look like a happy, cute kid show with these little animal creatures, but secretly is extremely, I wrote extremely gooey in my script. Extremely gory, gross, and disturbing. But the show consists of these characters dying in very strange or horrific ways. And the show sounds very similar to Dumb Ways to Die. The concept is pretty similar. And someone took note, because the channel Cartoon Star made a Dumb Ways to Die parody with Happy Tree Friends, with the lyrics and all. It was like a fully Dumb Ways to Die parody, and it's pretty good too. And a bit after making the Dumb Ways to Die Happy Tree Friends parody, they would make a Happy Tree Friends Dumb Ways to Die game. And the game itself is very similar to Dumb Ways to Die, with you going through minigames to get points and unlocking characters. Some minigames include putting sunscreen on the moose, or how they word it, God, creaming the figure. Some other minigames are making Handy Dan jump over logs, clicking red buttons on headphones, crossing a road, and much more. And also, Happy Tree Friends is honestly quite a bit more gory than Dumb Ways to Die. Dumb Ways to Die is already quite gory, but Happy Tree Friends gore is a lot more like realistic, so I'm probably gonna have to censor some of this. And the thing that's interesting about this, that I don't fully know, I don't know if this is an official app or a music video. Because at the beginning of the app, it shows the logo for the company that made Happy Tree Friends. So I don't know if it's official or not. I really don't know. Especially since the app is now deleted. And I've heard that that was only on the App Store for a very limited amount of time. 20 lost mobile games. But that's just very strange. So I don't know if it's even official or not. Because it could be, and it might be, but it might be unofficial. And especially if the app name was Dumb Ways to Die Happy Tree Friends, then maybe Dumb Ways to Die pressured them to take it down, but I'm not 100% sure. Something insane is that while I was recording this part of the video, there is a now official Happy Tree Friends Dumb Ways to Die collab. It's not out as of the time of me recording this, but it's gonna come out soon and I'm really excited for it. It looks very epic. So, oh my god, the collab is real. And the next game I'm talking about is Toilet Time. I actually used to play this one when I was younger because I was like, oh, this is funny, toilet, diarrhea, funny. This game is basically Dumb Ways to Die but with funny diarrhea toilet jokes. So silly. This game was made by Taps Games, who are pretty well known for mobile games. Like, I bet you played a couple of their games. They made so goddamn many. Like, oh my god. And so many are just reskins too. They probably have a monopoly in these like weird animal evolution games. Like, seriously, what the hell? And honestly, Toilet Time is one of their better games. The mini games include helping a fish to swim to the ocean after being flushed, unclogging a toilet and finding random things in it, sorting people into the correct bathrooms, finding the empty toilet stall, squishing roaches, washing your hands, unraveling toilet paper, which I'm pretty sure was stolen from Wario Ware, but I don't know, maybe a Wario Ware game came out after it with the same mini game, but I don't know. I remember that being in a WarioWare game.
Unroll. This is it! This is it! That's the one! Hey, don't waste paper. I don't care. I'm reliving my childhood right now. Oh, the memories. That was the game I was talking about at the beginning. This is the bread that you asked me to get, and you can now go make me a sandwich.
And of course, there's many more gross out games. After getting a high score, you get a new mini game and a key. Strangely enough, you only get one life, and the game ends after you get a specific number of points to get the key. The keys unlock new toilets in the museum. They don't really do anything though, which kinda sucks. It would have been cool if they maybe had, I don't know, some kind of interesting thing with it. I don't know. And also you get plungers after you finish a round of mini games as well. You get one plunger after 2 points. That's, yeah. And also you get plungers after you finish a round of mini games. You get one plunger for every 2 points, and after you have enough, you can unclog a toilet and get treasures for your collection. How very epic. They even made a whole separate app where the main game gameplay loop is to get treasures from unclogging toilets, which is really random. I don't know why they made a whole second game for it, I guess. I don't even know. There's also stuff like achievements, but I don't know what they really do. Maybe give you like plungers or something. I don't know. But honestly, the game isn't as bad as I remember. Going back to play it, I expected it to be really stupid and full of unfunny and oversaturated poop jokes, but honestly it didn't go too far with too many nasty, gross stuff. And also it's not a bad substitute for Dumb Ways to Die. Like, I remember playing it quite a bit when I was younger and into Dumb Ways to Die and stuff, so it's not that bad actually. One thing I forgot to put into the script is that I liked the different art styles in this game, and then it hit me. This is less of a Dumb Ways to Die ripoff and more of a Wario Ware ripoff, because stuff like the different art styles and I guess death not being a part of it. But I'm still going to include it here because I remember a lot of the Dumb Ways to Die, people who played Dumb Ways to Die also played this game and compared the two, so yeah. But let it be known, this isn't really a Dumb Ways to Die ripoff, but I still wanted to talk about it because it's a decent game. Okay, so I think to this point, I've reviewed all the at least good or decent apps. You know, the Spongebob one was good, even the Happy Tree Friends one was pretty good, and also the Toilet Time one was also pretty good as well. But this next app, this next game, this next thing is so unbelievable. Just by the name is unbelievable. I was looking for another couple apps to talk about, so I searched up Dumb Ways to Die, and the app that I found, you genuinely won't believe this, is called Dumb Ways to Die. Dumb Ways to Die, D-Y-E. Dumb Ways to D-Y-E. Dumb Ways to Die? Dumb Ways to Die what? Your hair? Your hair? Okay, so this is a drawing game, app, software, I guess app, where you draw. That's it, you just draw. There's 3 different modes. One where you just draw on a blank canvas. I drew one of those MS Paint squiggly drawings where you fill in the blank spots with the paint bucket. Doesn't it look so good? The next mode is where you draw on preset drawings. I chose this weird Peter Griffin flower thing and drew in it. Doesn't it just look so great? Seriously, this kind of looks like Peter Griffin though, like, I don't know why. And the third mode, which is this weird ass mode, where you shoot paintballs out of a cannon onto a minuscule canvas. Like, that is damn ant size. That is so small. Oh, and the colors. So, basically, it's just the most basic colors, all the colors of the rainbow, and black and white. But it's not normal paintbrushes or a color wheel or anything like that. It's random objects, like a tomato for red, grapes for purple, garlic for white, a toothbrush, banana, and a couple other things. It's kind of a cool idea, but it's just so random and so weird. So yeah, that's about it. But like, for real, it is so insane that someone even considered making this and naming it Dumb Ways to Die. Genuinely insane. And it would have been an okay drawing app too. And I guess it is, but like, Dumb Ways to Die, Dumb Ways to Die, yep. Nothing else to be said, Dumb Ways to Die, that's it. Alright, this next game is called Fools on Patrol. Now this looks more like a Dumb Ways to Die ripoff I'd expect. It looks more like Series of Dumb Deaths. In this game, you play as a policeman, completing minigames in order to rank up your police status. Definitely an interesting twist on the Dumb Ways to Die formula. It's interesting that you actually like rank up the more points that you get. Most of the minigames are stopping crime, like tracking down a criminal with a spotlight, chasing down criminals on the road, and other minigames like releasing a prisoner and target practice. This game honestly isn't super bad. It's definitely choppy feeling and the controls are okay. And the other elements are also alright, like the practice mode and the ranking system, which it has a practice mode where you actually get to practice the mini games, and I think that's actually quite cool. It would have been cool if like some other Dumb Ways to Die games had that, where like you could actually practice specific mini games. But yeah, this game honestly isn't super bad, but it's kind of choppy feeling, and it's okay. It has a couple cool twists on the Dumb Ways to Die formula, But that's about it. But I do wonder why it's called Fools, though. Maybe there's like a couple more Fools games, I don't know. But I'll go check right now. Oh my god. How many more of them are there? There's On Patrol, Wild West, Fear of Halloween, Snowball Christmas, American Hero, Killing Santa, and On Patrol 2. That is 7 full ripoff games. No, I'm not doing it. I already reviewed a ton of awful ripoff games for the part where I talked about Series of Dumb Deaths. I'm not talking about any more of these long-ass, series-based ripoff games. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not. Fools Wild West. This one is Wild West themed, and there's mini games like having a duel, saving a cow, riding a horse, shooting bottles, and other weird Wild West themed mini games. This game also has a weirder ranking system and point system. And speaking about the ranks, they're actual like cowboy names for some reason. I don't know how legal that is, but like whatever, I don't friggin' care. And the thing is, you get a random number of points for your level score. No matter if you lose or you fail, you just get random points. There's literal clips where I failed and got full stars, full 7 stars, but then there's clips where I've won and gotten like only a couple stars. If you're gonna have a ranking system, make it actually work. I don't know why they decided to just not do that, but whatever. So yeah, this game honestly isn't as good. It feels like there's less minigames and variety, and the game is so much more choppy and slow and low quality than Fools on Patrol. Fools on Patrol was already ass, and this game, it's just more ass. I don't even know what to say. I really hope that these games don't keep declining in quality, because I'm 2 games in, and I'm already sick of it.
Give me a drink, bartender.
Alright, this is Fools Fear of Halloween. This is a Halloween-themed game, just like the Series of Dumb Deaths one. Wow, totally what I want to think about right now. And, yeah, this one's not good either. The minigames are supposed to be scary and Halloween-themed, like trying to break out of a coffin, not drinking poison, balancing across a thin balance beam, moving away from train tracks. Wonder where they got the idea from for that one. And jumping over a car in broad daylight. Oh my god, just like I Show Speed. That's gonna be really outdated by the time this video comes out. Just know it was kind of funny at the time. Okay, but for real, these are barely Halloween themed. There's a couple decorations and a couple minigames which are Halloween or at least horror themed, but barely any of these are Halloween themed at all. Like, it's just running away from a train or moving the character away from the train or jumping over a car. These aren't Halloween themed. It's like they had a whole entire game planned, but then Halloween season was coming up and they were like, nope, let's just make it Halloween themed. Seriously, they literally had put less effort into this than Series of Dumb Deaths, and I thought it couldn't get worse than that.
I realized that I didn't record an outro for this, but this game, it could have been really good, but it's not really good because they were really lazy and just put Halloween decorations in it, and yeah, also I'm sick, so that's why I sound like actual garbage.
The next game is Fools American Hero. When I first opened the app, it just had a extremely low quality pixelated pop-up with a question mark. What the hell? I don't know if this is because they never updated it and maybe it was an ad for something like another game which was deleted. I have no clue. But this is like a jump scare. I don't even know. When I started the game, I had to destroy a meteor hitting Earth, then help a kitten from a tree. Obviously the more important task at hand. And then disarm nukes, fix a Hollywood sign, protect someone from a shark attack. There's also a minigame in this game where you have to save the Statue of Liberty from a plane that's gonna hit it. And when I first played this, my first thought was, is this supposed to be referencing 9/11? Because a plane hitting of a well-known monument in New York City, and I think it probably is. I don't think the developer put this mini game in here with like bad intentions or any like mean intent, but like, to add this in your shitty dumb ways to die ripoff game is so weird. And honestly, this is probably the worst game in the entire series. Not even because of that or anything, but just because most of the minigames are based around flying your character to a certain thing to save it from another thing. You know, saving a pedestrian, saving the Statue of Liberty, or there was like the asteroid one. It's just the same minigame over and over. What's the fun in that? What is the fun in that? There is no fun to be had. And also, theming a game around America, really? It's kind of boring, I guess, you know?
So one thing I forgot to mention is the ranks. I only saw 3 ranks: Robin, and then Batman, and then the final one, which I don't even know what the hell this is, Batfink. What the hell is Batfink? I searched it up and it's apparently some old like TV show or something, but like what the hell are these ranks? They really didn't care. They were like, yeah, let's put Batman as a rank. Like they did not care about copyright at all, I guess.
This next game is Fools Killing Santa. It is a Christmas themed Fools game. Upon opening the app, the dreaded red question mark came back. The whole premise for the game is finding ways to kill Santa in these minigames, such as throwing a present with a bomb at him, setting fire to a fireplace so when he drops down he gets caught on fire, opening alcohol so the cork hits him, target practice with a snowman, and a couple more. This definitely feels like the most dumb ways to die game, because you actually like die, well, someone dies because you have to kill Santa, which is also an interesting concept for one of these games. Instead of it just being like, ooh, Christmas themed, you actually have to like kill Santa, which is kind of interesting. But honestly, this would work a bit better as a puzzle solving game, but that's just my opinion. I don't know if they would even want to make a puzzle solving game, but whatever. Also, the ranks are kind of just randomly Christmas themed, like Rudolph's lunchbox, Snowman's nose, Santa's punching bag, just kind of random. Honestly, not bad, but it honestly is pretty good, so it's one of my favorites so far. Fools on Patrol 2. Finally, Fools on Patrol 2, sequel to the decade's greatest game. Since On Patrol 1 was such a success, they made a sequel. And, you know, that makes sense, because the first one had 1 million downloads on the Google Play Store, which is absolutely insane. This follows the same kind of story as Patrol 1, having you as a cop stopping crime around town. The minigames include finding the drugs from 3 suspects, okay, catching a criminal in a very funny, cartoonish way, target practice, they just love their target practice, I guess, avoiding the poison donut, stopping what seems to be a stolen military copter. Also, this one's glitched. There's supposed to be a meter there with like different colors, but it's just not there for some reason. Also, the ranking system is exactly like Wild West, so I assume they maybe came out around the same time or were in development at the same time, but I'm not fully sure. Maybe the developer just brought it back for this one game. But overall, not a bad entry. Again, this makes sense to be made. On Patrol 1 was a genuine success, so of course they made it make another, and it also turned out pretty good too. It's really not that bad. So originally, On Patrol 2 was going to be the final game I talk about in the Fools series, having this segment start with On Patrol, having it end with On Patrol sequel. But when I played this game, Snowball Christmas, my jaw literally dropped. You may wonder why. It's just a Christmas themed game. What's so crazy about it? Well, I'll show you. I opened the game, and it has a bit of a different title screen. When I press play, it shows levels? I think to myself, just might be a level-based minigame compilation. Let me go on to level 1, I say to myself with fear running through my fingertips. I let out a horrifying scream as I see it is not a Dumb Ways to Die ripoff, but an Angry Birds ripoff. Okay, so literally why did the developer decide to make an Angry Birds ripoff now instead of Dumb Ways to Die? Let's analyze this. So the game has the classic Angry Birds gameplay, of launching balls at structures. But the thing is, this is quite bare bones. The thing that made Angry Birds so cool and different is the different types of birds with cool designs, like the one that goes fast, the one that's a bomb, and even the one that shits. But this game is just launching regular snowballs with no cool power-ups. It's just kinda lame. There is different materials for the structures, which is cool, but for the enemies it's just circular Santa Clauses. Guess we're killing Santa again. We killing a Santa with this one. But yeah, it's not a bad ripoff, but it's just so strange compared to the others. I do like the idea of branching out with the full series though, like making one-off games based off other classic mobile games. But I feel this one was a bit unneeded because there was already a game that the developer made that was an Angry Birds ripoff. I even remember Terror playing it. But yeah, this is for sure the most strange game in the series, and the final one I'm going to be talking about. And thus, that is the end of the Fools series. Honestly, the Fools series isn't as bad as I expected. I knew that there were a couple Fools games, but I really didn't expect this many. That's why I wanted to go over them quickly. With Series of Dumb Deaths, I took my time with it, but with this I wanted to kind of get through it quick. But also because there was less content than Series of Dumb Deaths. The thing is, I'm deciding which one is really worse, Series of Dumb Deaths or Fools. Both of them are bad, obviously not as good as Dumb Ways to Die, or even like, I don't know, the friggin' Spongebob ripoff Dumb Ways to Die game, or Toilet Time or whatever. But it's so strange because like Series of Dumb Deaths had more mini games and a bit more variety, I guess, but they seemed way more boring. Like they all blended together in my mind. Like I can't really think of any that were specifically from a specific numbered game or whatever. I can only remember the Halloween and Easter one, I guess, as separate ones. But even then, the dude just reskinned the Halloween one for the Easter one. Whereas with Fools, each one had a unique like theme, you know. There was a one where you were a police officer, which was on patrol. There was the Wild West one. There was a Halloween one, which is honestly ass. There was a Christmas one. And even like switching it up with even more genres, like one that's a Christmas one, but you kill Santa. Like that's actually pretty unique. Or even like the Snowball Christmas, it seemed like the developer almost wanted Fools to branch off from Dumb Ways to Die, be its own, I guess, ripoff game series with like an Angry Birds ripoff. But I don't know. I mean, it's still bad. The Fools series is still bad, but it's just so interesting to me. Like I feel like this honestly could have been a pretty enjoyable game series if there's just more time put in some of the games, you know? Like I feel like adding more mini games to them would have been cool. Or the thing with this is that there's so many to where they could have just bundled them all together as like one game. It could have been like Fools the Jobs collection, you know, where there's On Patrol, American Hero, yada da da da. There, you know, there's had the Holiday collection or whatever. Kind of like with Dumb Ways to Die 2, where it's a ton of different areas. Like, you know, there's the space area, the winter area, the I don't know, the friggin' swimming one, but they're all in one game. The developer of Fools could have done the same thing, but he didn't. So I don't know, but overall not a bad Dumb Ways to Die ripoff game series, but it's also like one of the most blatant, which makes it one of the most interesting, and just such an anomaly. It is really, really strange. I know I've said this a lot, but this next game is absolutely unbelievable. This game isn't a Dumb Ways to Die ripoff, no. It's a Toilet Time ripoff. Yes, really. This is Toilet Troubles, or Toilet Trouble. I don't know, either one I guess. Since this is a ripoff of Toilet Time, that means this is technically 4 layers deep of ripoffs. It's a game that's a ripoff of another game that in and of itself was a ripoff / inspired by Wario Ware. But anyways, what is this game like? Well, honestly it's pretty boring. The mini games include fixing a maze of pipes, just like Toilet Time, scrubbing graffiti off of bathroom stalls, assigning people to the correct bathrooms, just like Toilet Time, washing your hands, swiping objects away from a toilet, just like Toilet Time, washing your hands again, but you need to tap 20 times to count to 20, just like that Dumb Ways to Die minigame, saving a rubber duck from a toilet, like the Dumb Ways to Die toaster minigame, finding the empty toilet stall, just like Toilet Time, and unrolling toilet paper, just like Wario Ware. Also, there's a couple tilting minigames, like tilting to catch soap or avoid like crabs or something. And the thing that's weird is that the tilting does not work at all. Like anytime I tried to tilt, it wouldn't work at all. And I'm playing on like an actual iPad, so it's not like I'm playing it on a PC and it's not working. Like, it actually won't work for some reason. There's also something in this game called the gallery, where you use your points from minigames to buy stuff for various prices. I bought a crab and an iPod. So epic and so retro. Well, this game is pretty boring, but there's one thing that makes it so interesting. You will not believe this. Guess who made this? Guess who made this game? If you guessed the creator of Series of Dumb Deaths, you would be correct. The developer who made this game also made the Series of Dumb Deaths games. He just couldn't stop at Dumb Ways to Die ripoffs. Again, no hate to the guy, I get it, get that bag even if you're making low effort ripoff games. But it's shocking that he didn't just stop with Series of Dumb Deaths. Like, he decided, like, you know what could be another good game? A ripoff of Toilet Time. Yeah. I wonder if this guy is, like, a big fan of Wario Ware, actually. Because that would explain a lot. Finally, I'm at the final ripoff game I'm going to be talking about. I wanted to save this game for last, because I think it has the most potential. This game is, this is seriously the name, Dumb Life of Fruits and Veggies. Yes, that's the actual name. So starting up the game shows it's similar to Dumb Ways to Die 2, with the map that has different areas. The areas here are Fruitville, Veget Hill, Veggiethil? What the hell kind of name is this? And Mixture City. Start with Fruitville. The first minigame has me as a strawberry skiing down a hill avoiding rocks. I instantly recognize this is an exact copy of a Dumb Ways to Die 2 minigame. Not looking good so far. I do like how the strawberry guy looks though. He looks pretty funny, I guess. I don't know. This next minigame has me patching holes in a boat, but for some reason I couldn't understand how to do it. I tried dragging, tapping, holding, nothing worked. And that is a big issue with this game. In Dumb Ways to Die games, it shows what you need to do to beat the minigames, like it shows the instructions. This game does have those instructions, but it's barely on any minigames. It doesn't show what you have to do. It just says, like, oh, repair the boat. But how do I do that? The next minigame, I had to chop down a tree when the red bar was on the green one. And again, I didn't know how to do it correctly. You actually have to tap and drag on the axe itself to make it work instead of just tapping anywhere or dragging anywhere. Also, this was copied from Dumb Ways to Die 2, so yeah. And that was it for Fruitville. Oh, and an interesting thing this game has is a heavy focus on achievements. Every minigame has a different fruit or veggie character. When you play a minigame you haven't played before, you get an achievement. Cool idea and concept, but it made it hard to see what was going on fully on the screen, because there was a huge achievement bar that was showing you that you got an achievement. And it also kind of made it annoying to record footage because it just shows achievements on every minigame, so it's just distracting, so I'm sorry about that. So it's a cool concept, but not very good in execution. Next area is Veggie Hill. The minigames here are a memory game with colors, how original, avoiding sharks by jumping, literally exactly stolen from a Dumb Ways to Die 2 minigame. This is one of the most blatant ones, like come on. Next minigame has you shooting worms so they don't eat your pumpkins.
Throughout the game, there's like barely any sound effects besides from the background music, so it was really funny when I shot a worm and it made this loud ass shotgun sound effect. That is absolute peak comedy.
Okay, this next minigame is so unbelievable. I'm just gonna let you watch it and see what happens. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do for it. It says fast and you look into a box of potatoes. And again, it gave no instructions. So I don't know what to do for it. I thought I won originally because I thought I saved the potato, but I guess not. Alright, now for the final area, Mixture City. So I originally thought this was going to be a mix of the two existing areas, kind of like Dumbest of the Dumb and Dumb Ways to Die 2, but it actually has its own unique minigame, so that's pretty cool. Let's see what they are. The minigames are flying a potato through clouds, saving eggplants from an oncoming train. Wait a second. This is exactly, and I mean exactly, stolen from a Dumb Ways to Die 1 minigame. Look, it's side by side. Exactly the same. Like, I understand some of the other minigames being more inspired from Dumb Ways to Die, but this is just so bad and unoriginal. Like, come on, bro. There's a minigame with pistachios. Are those even fruits or vegetables? So they're apparently something called droops, a quote, fleshy tree fruit. Interesting. When you beat the minigame, oh my god, is that the Unity default skybox in the background? That is so funny to me and I don't know why. There's a minigame where you pick from 3 doors and you win by picking the one with the pumpkin holding a case of beer. This game is so unbelievable. What was the developer thinking? Yeah, you have to pick the door with alcohol. This is so funny but so bad. Alright, now I've gone over the minigames. What do I think of this game overall? Well, I don't think it's very good. There's a few big issues and I'll address them. First, the instructions are too unclear. In many of the minigames, I had no clue what to do, thus making me lose. It could have also been due to faulty controls like the other ripoffs I've talked about, but still, you gotta give instructions to the players so they understand how to play. Issue 2. Too many copied minigames. Throughout this video, I've talked about some other games that have copied minigames from Dumb Ways to Die, and this one is no exception. I get coming up with minigames is hard, but at least try to use the Dumb Ways to Die minigames as inspiration, not just as free passes to copy to make your own minigames. And issue 3, the biggest issue in my opinion, the missed potential. I saved this game for last because I thought it would be a cool spin on the Dumb Ways to Die games, with having fruits and veggies as main characters. You could come up with some really cool ideas for ways for them to die relating to food. This is an insane comparison, but I think they could have genuinely looked at the Annoying Orange for inspiration, because Annoying Orange used the fact that their fruits dying to their advantage for videos. But this game had literally like 0 gore in it, and barely any real, quote, deaths. They really missed the opportunity to make this a unique and fun twist on the Dumb Ways to Die games, and it fully missed the mark, and it shows.
Like, I hate wasted potential. That shit crushes your spirit. It really does. It crushes your spirit.
So, what's my conclusion to all this? I think if you have the desire to make something similar to another thing, make sure you do it in the right way. Many of these games just steal minigames from Dumb Ways to Die, with barely any changes, and some with minimal changes. Some of these games very clearly steal the Dumb Ways to Die art style, with very few changes as well. However, some of these games make an effort. They make an effort to take what Dumb Ways to Die did and change it up to make its own unique thing. Just like what Dumb Ways to Die did with Wario Ware. And the games that make these changes and make something unique are games that people still fondly remember to this day. I understand making games is hard, no doubt. But if you want to make something special, even if it's inspired by something else, make those changes. Put passion into what you make instead of a soulless cash grab. Then the skills that you've gotten from making those games with inspiration, you can make something fully original that will be remembered for years, and for good reason. Just like what Dumb Ways to Die was able to do. Even though it took heavy inspiration from Wario Ware, it shaped its own identity and expanded upon the original game to make a successful brand. And that's commendable. And that is truly original, and special to many. Thanks for watching.